All right, as we have jumped into Unit 3, let's cover a few little things I want to revisit. How to contact me. Remember, the first and utmost way I would like for you to contact me is to text me first. The second way would be email through Blackboard. And if I do not respond to that, send me a quick text saying, hey, I sent you a big email. Please, when you get time, get in there and look at it. The last way you should contact me is using my UHCL email address. If you use this email address, there's a chance that I might not get to it or it might become lost, because remember, this is also my business email where I have meetings that the information gets sent to me about the meeting. Now that we're doing everything digital, I get Zoom requests, all kinds of stuff you can imagine. I'm contacted textbook, publishers, everything comes to that email address. Chances of your material getting lost can be high, but if it's within the course or a text message, it's very easy for me to get to it. And of course, your text I keep very separate, and it comes to me right away on my phone, unless my phone is not on my person or I am sitting in a meeting and I can't respond to you right away. Usually though, I get back to you within a couple hours. So remember, send me an email to the uhcl.edu Frierson on a limited basis. And then late work. Late work has become an issue. I've received several texts lately on my assignment is late, I missed the assignment, I didn't remember to look at the calendar, all the above. Okay? I do not accept late work. Everything that's late receives a 0. The only exception is if you contact me before the deadline, which means if it's due Friday at 11:59, you need to contact me before 11:59 that Friday and explain the situation. An extension will be granted on a case-by-case basis. It does not mean that you will get the extension and I will say yes to it, even if you explain it. You're only allowed one per semester. When you choose your one per semester, I recommend you do a major assignment. Okay, these are on red font on the spreadsheet. Due date still stands. If you have any issues, you need to let me know immediately. Okay, I look at all, considering fairness for everybody else, timeliness and integrity. If you're granted an extension, remember, you've contacted me before the due date. You have, the next day you need to get it done, and you still take a 10% deduction. The day after, it's a 20% deduction. After that, after day 2, you don't have a chance to make this up. So if it was due Friday, it has to be completed by Sunday. You absolutely lose out on any extension or anything, obviously, if you contact me on Monday, because your late day penalties have already passed. If you have something that has come up and you can't even make it in those 2 days, again, when you explain to me the situation, I take that in case by case and I let you know. But if the assignment's worth 30 points, when you do a 10% deduction or 20% deduction, is it worth the effort that you put in to make it up? And that's why I highly recommend taking in a major assignment and using it, not the minor assignments and use it. Right? Again, keep track of your grades and to keep track of due dates. Print out the point calculation spreadsheet and use it for recording your grades and due dates on them so that you can remember what's going on in this class. There is no excuse to fall behind, and there's no excuse to not know when assignments are coming up. All right, moving into Unit 3. This entire unit deals with your future. You will be working on making your resume more professional, which is the key to landing an interview. And again, if you need more extra material with your resume. That's what Career Services comes in handy for. I require you to send your resume to Career Services. I cannot express how helpful they are in gearing your resume to send to companies in your quest of employment. Many of you are making a job change. That's why you are going to school. So if you have, I was a server at a restaurant as your only work experience, then you need your school experience to stand out if you're going for an IT position. Whereas the server experience comes in handy and you still need to list that. You also need to show that company or that potential employer that you can do the IT work that they're requiring you to do from a job listing. So the guest lecture link that I posted is from Chuck Crocker. Usually he comes to my classes and gives this lecture, but he gave me a link to it because obviously we're online now. This is really informative. You have to watch this lecture and review it, and also look at the resume writing tips and more packet that comes from Career Services that gears your resume in to looking the way it's supposed to look. Once you have looked through all this, then when you hit review, your assignment pops open and it shows you how to get stuff to Career Services. Hopefully by now all of you have sent your resume into Career Services. If not, please get it to them because they have a lot going on also. The next link is interviewing tips. There's an example of a thank you email that you should send out after your interview. You should send a thank you email within 24 to 48 hours of your interview, and yes, you can email it. Next is a document that lists questions to ask at the end of the interview. The last interview I participated in, I researched this, I found this material. I found 5 great questions that I could ask when that interview at the very end says, so, are there any questions you would like to ask us? Yes, you need to ask questions. Do not say, no, I got everything, I'm good. No, get in here, find some questions, at least 4 to 5. Make sure that you ask questions at the end. It shows them that you're interested in their company, and it shows them that you're interested in the position that you're applying for. The next link is an article that I found fascinating. I don't know if you know who Elon Musk is. Again, I would Google him if you don't know who he is. But this is what he looks for when he interviews and how to tell if somebody is lying. Again, don't go in and lie in an interview, and definitely don't lie on your resume. This must be stuff that will come back and haunt you. Let's move into the assignments. All right. Unit 3 quiz is over chapters 14 and 15. On the book link to the left, you'll find those 2 chapters to take the quiz. Again, it's online, and you can use the book to answer the questions. Here's the resume final copy. As soon as you review the other, this is what you have for the resume to submit. You will need a job listing. Make sure I can see the job listing. You can copy and paste it into a Word document. Make sure the URL is attached. If it's a short job listing, just take a picture of it or a screenshot and use that, but make sure those items are on there so I know what you're looking at. This is the same job listing that needs to go to Career Services. The marked up resume. I do not need the initial, I sent my resume to Career Services. Again, it doesn't, that's immaterial to me. I need to see that they sent you your resume back with comments. That's what I need to see. So it doesn't matter if you want to copy me, that's fine. I usually delete them because it's unnecessary and it fills up my box with assignment material that is not necessary. I need to see that, and you can take a screenshot of the email that they send back to you with the marked up copy. And you can also include the marked up copy. And then fix your resume so it's final and it looks exactly like it's supposed to look. Make sure that you name everything accordingly so that when I look at it, I know exactly what it is. You can send me up to 4 attachments: job listing, the marked up resume email, the actual marked up resume itself, and then your final version. All right. And then a negotiation letter. All right. It's always a good idea to write out what you want to say before that important conversation takes place. So that's why I have you do this assignment. 9 times out of 10, the salary negotiation will be verbal, but not necessarily, especially right now with all the issues in the pandemic. A lot of stuff has moved online. So you need to make sure that your negotiation skills are up to par and there's not any mistakes in them, and that you're ready to go. And when the last time I did a negotiation, not only was it verbal, but I had the letter printed out and signed. I had it hand signed, and I gave it to the manager. So not only did we talk about it verbally, but he also got a copy of the letter. So always think that when you get ready to get a job and you get a job offer, that there is always room to negotiate. And there usually is always room to negotiate. So I suggest learn how to compose this letter, format a block style letter, keep it in a file with your resume so that you have it. Might not need it in a couple semesters or next semester whenever you get ready to start looking for jobs. You might need it 5 or 10 years down the road. You might need it 15 years down the road, but at least you have something that you can tweak, change salary ranges, change what they offered you, and use it so that you know what you're going to say when you talk to them. Let's see, anything else I need to cover with that? No. So that's all I'm going to talk about with negotiation letter, why all of this is very important for you to get in and do. Spend some time on this. Make sure that you use all these people to your advantage. You can always use career services even after you graduate. That is one of the benefits of you attending UHCL. And if you have any questions, make sure you go in and post it to the discussion board Q&A.